Hello to everyone at the Republican Jewish Coalition. And I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person today, but I look forward to being back with you next year as your 47th President of the United States. Thank you very much. I especially want to thank my friend Miriam. She's an incredible woman. I've gotten to know her very well over the years, but she is an incredible person. And also your chairman, former Senator Norm Coleman, your CEO, Matt Brooks, and all of the members, staff, and distinguished guests at the RJC. Thank you very much. Thank you. As we speak today, we're all devastated by the horrific death of our fellow American, Hirsch Goldberg, and this is so sad to even say, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland. I've been watching the parents, I've been watching everybody talking about it for so long, and it's just so sad to see. And the 5 other innocent hostages slaughtered late last week at the hands of Hamas terrorists. Hirsch was a brother, a son, and an American citizen. After being held captive for nearly a year following the monstrous October 7th attack on Israel, Hirsch was barbarically executed with a bullet to the back of his head. To Hirsch's family and everyone touched by these atrocities, we pray that God will grant you comfort, healing, and peace. And as for the evil savages responsible for these murders, may they never know peace or comfort ever again. Cannot know it. Unbelievably, thank you. Unbelievably, the arrests, and you'll take a look at what's happening with that whole group. Harris-Biden administration has sought to cast blame for these deaths on Israel. They have not been your friends. I don't understand how anybody can support them. And I say it constantly. If you had them to support and you were Jewish, you have to have your head examined. They have been very bad to you. Let me state this very clearly. The blame for these wicked murders lies with Hamas and Hamas alone. Only an evil and inhuman, really inhuman ideology kidnaps, tortures, and murders innocent men, women, and children. And likewise, only a deeply sick political party here in America would make common cause with those who sympathize with such evil, and there's nobody been closer than this group of people, radical left people running for office right now. And they're not going to win because they can't win, because we wouldn't have a country any longer, and then Israel would not have an ally, that I can tell you. And only a morally rotten president and vice president would seek to blame Israel for heinous acts of terror committed against its own citizens. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are a disgrace to your nation and to my nation. If Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden are looking for another cause of this crisis, they should do nothing more than look in the mirror. They are the cause. They gave you no support. They gave Israel no support. The October 7th attack on Israel would never have happened if I was president. Zero chance. It was not going to happen. Just like the disaster in Afghanistan would never have happened. And frankly, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia would not have happened. This November, we're going to replace weakness with strength, cowardice with courage and clarity, and war with peace. We're going to tell Comrade Kamala Harris, you're fired. Thank you. No, we have no choice in doing so. You'll never survive if they get in. And our country, America, will never survive if they get in. When I left office, America was safe, Israel was safe, the Jewish people were safe, and the whole world was at peace. Under my leadership, we obliterated the ISIS caliphate, 100% done. We did it in 4 weeks. It was supposed to take 5 years. I did it in 4 weeks, and it was done, over. I withdrew from the horrendous Iran nuclear deal and imposed the toughest ever sanctions on the regime. Iran was weak, Iran was broke, They had no money, and they wanted to make a deal. As president, I withdrew from the anti-Semitic United Nations Human Rights Council, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. I defunded the Palestinian Authority and choked off the money to Hamas. And we actually defunded. We were paying them a fortune every year. The United States was paying a fortune. And I said, we're not going to pay. They're not our friends. They're not the friend of Israel. I recognized Israel's eternal capital and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem, something which every president said they were going to do, and they never did it. I got it done, and I also got the embassy built. Somebody else would have never gotten it built. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights was a big thing. We were talking to a lot of people. I got it done in 15 minutes. They've been negotiating it for 52 years. Nothing was ever going to happen without me. With the historic Abraham Accords, we made peace in the Middle East. We had wonderful support. And had I been president for the remainder of the time that we're talking about, this 4-year period, every country virtually would have been signed into the Abraham Accords, whereas Biden and Harris have done nothing. Nobody signed. So here at home, American Jews felt safe on our streets and college campuses when I was president, and we kept radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. They were out. They weren't allowed to come in. But all of that changed with Comrade Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden in the White House. Harris restored funding to the Palestinian Authority and even much more money than they were being paid before, and the UN Relief and Works Agency, which both funnel money now to Hamas, and they funnel a lot of money to Hamas, and nobody knows that better than you. She supported removing the Houthis to a list. We had a terror list that was really very important for them to be on that terror list. And she took them off the terror list, a group whose motto includes the words, death to America, death to Israel, and curse on the Jews. This is their motto. And they don't want them on a terror list. Kamala Harris helped deliver over $100 billion in sanctions relief to Iran. Gave them all the money. They gave them $6 billion for hostages. They gave them money that Iran never expected, never could have made. And now, because of them, in 3.5 years, they've got $350 billion. When I was there, they had no money. They wanted to make a deal. And we would have had a deal very easily if the election turned out the way it should have turned out, frankly. But the regime used to expand its terror brigades and to fund Hamas. Iran was doing that and funding them at a level that nobody thought even possible. Kamala Harris is the candidate of the forces who want to destroy Western civilization and Israel. I am the candidate of those who want to defend Western civilization, defend Israel, and defend, of course, the United States of America. When I'm president, the United States will once again stand shoulder to shoulder with the state of Israel. I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror, and we will win fast. You have to win, and you have to win fast. We will restore stability and peace in the Middle East, and we will be using a phrase that's been used by some very great leaders over the years, including Ronald Reagan, peace through strength. You will have peace through strength. If Kamala Harris wins, terrorist armies will wage an unceasing war to drive Jews out of the Holy Land, and you know it. And we've had a great relationship with Israel, but I can say honestly that we got 25% of the vote. We got 26% after 4 years, after I did more for Israel than any other president by far. And this year, we're probably around a 50% mark. But I only ask you, who are the 50% of Jewish people that are voting for these people that hate Israel? and don't like the Jewish people. Why are they? Why are they voting? Why? How do they exist? Iran and its proxies will spread bloodshed and death all around the globe. And as she continues to set the world on fire, Kamala Harris will support unlimited migration from terrorist hotbeds into the United States and will totally abandon Israel. You're going to be abandoned if she becomes president. And I think you have to explain that to your people because they don't know it. They have no idea what they're getting into. You're not going to have an Israel if she becomes president. Israel will no longer exist. When I'm president, we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers and Hamas supporters from our midst. We don't want them in our midst. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you hate America, if you want to eliminate Israel, then we don't want you in our country. I will ban refugee settlements from terror-infested areas like the Gaza Strip. We will arrest the pro-Hamas thugs who vandalize federal property, and I will put every single college president on notice. The American taxpayer will not subsidize the creation of terrorist sympathizers on American soil. Colleges will and must end the anti-Semitic propaganda or they will lose their accreditation and federal support. No money will go to them if they don't. The Republican Party, we know that militant anti-Semitism and support for terror have no place in a civilized society. They have no place. We must reject anti-Semitism in our schools, reject it in our foreign policy, reject it in our immigration system, and reject it at the ballot box this November. You must get Jewish people or people that love Israel, you must get them to vote for Republican. You must get them to vote for Trump. And if you don't, you're not going to have a country. I am telling you, I've been very good at predicting things. You will not have a country. This is a radical left Marxist that we have running. You will not have a country. With your vote, we will defend our citizens, we will defend our values, and we will defend our country. America and Israel will be respected again. We will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, support our police, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield like you have, slightly larger, keep critical race theory and transgender insanity out of our schools, and keep men out of women's sports in our country. We will defend the Second Amendment, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections. In everything we do, I will put America first. I will keep America safe, and I will work with you to make sure that Israel is with us for thousands of years. We're not going to let go of it. If they win, Israel is gone. Just remember that. If they win, Israel is gone. You can forget about Israel. That's what's going to happen. So they have to get out on November 5th, and they have to vote for Trump. If they don't, I think it's going to be a very terrible situation. We're going to make America great again. We're going to, frankly, help Israel.